I didn't realize someone was living in my house. Not at first. I only noticed something was wrong with the space under our stairs. It was sealed with a thin plywood panel. No handle, no hinges. Just wedged into the wall. Behind it were boxes no one had touched in years. When I was 20, I noticed the panel wasn't sitting flush anymore. It was barely noticeable. Just a thin shadow on the carpet where there shouldn't have been one. I pushed the panel back with my foot. It slid into place too easily. That bothered me, but I ignored it. Old house. Old wood. That night, I went to bed thinking nothing of it. A few nights later, I woke up suddenly. No noise, no dream. Just the feeling that someone else was awake while I slept. I stayed still, staring at the ceiling, listening. That's when I heard breathing. Slow. Controlled. Close enough that I could hear it pause between breaths. I held my breath, terrified that if I moved, it would know I was awake. After a few seconds, the breathing stopped. I convinced myself it had been my imagination. I rolled onto my side. Then I heard something drag softly across the floor. The sound came from the hallway. I opened my bedroom door and turned on the light. The panel under the stairs was open, not fallen, removed. It leaned neatly against the wall, like someone had taken care not to scratch it. I stood there far too long, waiting for movement, waiting for proof I was wrong. Nothing moved. I forced the panel back into place and shoved boxes behind it until my arms hurt. Then I checked every lock in the house. Twice. That night I dreamed someone was standing over my bed, breathing quietly so I wouldn't wake up. When I woke, my bedroom door was open. I knew I had closed it before going to sleep. I started paying attention after that. The panel would shift slightly during the day. Objects under the stairs seemed rearranged, boxes stacked higher, space cleared in the center. I told myself it was my imagination. I didn't want another explanation. One afternoon, I came home early and noticed the house smelled different. Stale. Like sweat trapped in fabric. The panel was perfectly flush that day, tighter than it had ever been. I pressed my ear against it and listened. I heard nothing. That almost scared me more. The next night, I heard scratching. Not frantic, not desperate. Slow, patient. Like fingernails being dragged gently across wood, testing it. I sat on my bed holding my phone, shaking so badly I nearly dropped it. I didn't call anyone. I listened until it stopped. At 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. No name, just a message. You move too much when you sleep. My blood went cold. I didn't reply. Another message followed seconds later. You shouldn't lock doors when I'm inside. I screamed for my parents. My dad grabbed a bat and ripped open the panel under the stairs. The space was empty, but everything inside had been rearranged. Boxes stacked neatly. A blanket laid flat, a half-full water bottle, a phone charger plugged into an outlet none of us remembered installing. The police searched the house, the yard, the neighborhood. They found nothing. No signs of forced entry. That night, I slept on my parents' bedroom floor. I barely blinked. Around 4 a.m., I heard the front door unlock. Not forced. Unlocked. Footsteps crossed the living room slowly. Calmly. Then they stopped right outside my parents' door. I heard breathing again. Close. Familiar. After a long moment, the footsteps moved away, down the stairs, and the front door closed gently behind them. No slam. The police said he'd probably been watching us for a long time, long enough to learn routines, long enough to learn locks. They told us to be careful. They didn't catch him. My dad installed cameras and alarms. I moved out 2 weeks later. For years, nothing happened. I stopped checking dark corners. I stopped listening for breathing. I convinced myself it was over. Then my dad called me last night. His voice sounded tired. "Did you ever take anything from under the stairs?" he asked. "No," I said. "Why?" There was a long pause. "The blanket's gone," he replied. And the charger. My stomach dropped. I don't own a charger like that. I never did. That night, I slept with the lights on. At 2:46 a.m., my phone vibrated. Unknown number. I don't like when you pretend I was never there. I stared at the message until my screen dimmed. Then another message arrived. You still sleep on your right side. I moved apartments the next day, changed my number, didn't tell anyone my address. For a while, it worked. Then small things started happening. Objects moved. Doors left unlocked. The smell returned. Familiar. Stale. Close. Last night I woke up because my mattress shifted slightly. Not enough to bounce, just enough to feel like someone had sat down carefully. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I listened. The breathing was right behind my head. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't look at it. I already knew what it would say. Something about how long he'd waited. Something about how quiet I was when I slept. The breathing continued, slow and controlled. I don't know how long I lay there pretending to be asleep. I don't know when he left. I only know that this morning, my phone was plugged in, charging, and I don't remember doing that.